me just first say I couldn't be more proud of a group of guys, and you know I'd say this, that have gone through so much in the last, not only this past month, but the 3 classes have gone through changes. The last month for these guys has been very hectic, yet they bought in. I think they've learned lessons in their tenure at Wisconsin. They are very resilient, but I thanked them for believing in me and the plan I would give them in a very short time. I told them I'd have them ready for the game. We tried to get them stronger. We tried to get them healthier, and we'd give them a good game plan. And our assistant coaches were very professional throughout this process and gave them a good game plan and gave the kids a chance to win. And you know, they beat a very good Auburn team. Gus runs a great program. They have a number of outstanding players. The things they do offensively create problems, but our guys were able to answer it and find a way to win. But very happy also for the fans of Wisconsin. We've had a dry spell in bowl games. We went a while there, we won every year, but maybe we can get that ball rolling that way now. But proud and pleased with the hospitality that we had here in Tampa. Jim and the Outback people do such a tremendous job. And, I want to thank them for the tremendous hospitality, the way we were treated in the first-class manner in which this bowl is run.
Gary, what are you going to take from the team? It's going to be like Melvin's running, Stobby coming back with some big throws after making some poor choices, or the defensive standing.
Melvin's running has to be in here, but I would start with the offensive line. Our game plan was to open it up early, throw the ball to loosen them up, to get them running around up front, and then let the offensive line take over and establish our running game. I was really like what I saw that opening drive in the second half. We ran the ball down the field, and basically we had a hard time with them, and they had a hard time with us in the second half. But I'd go with the offensive line, but Melvin is truly special. They've had a lot of good backs come through here, and for him to break that record, I think someone had told him you couldn't have the numbers that you had if you played the Southeast Conference. I think he begged to differ.
Gary, can you talk about the thought process of going for that 4th down so you can get a good goal in the regular game?
It was a tough kick. Quite frankly, I wanted to go for the win. We're playing with a guard who's got a leg he's dragging around for an entire half. I didn't know how much longer he'd go. He was having a hard time on combination things. I didn't want to take a chance with a kick and go into overtime when we had a chance. If we could get a first down, we could go in and have a shot to win. And we had a shot. Didn't quite work out, but that was my thinking right there. Let's go for the win.
Barry, can you describe what it was like to hit the Gatorade bath and then have a bunch of the seniors place you up on their shoulders? Like
Yeah, that's, you know what? I've had a couple of those, and I like them. It's a little uncomfortable afterwards, but I like it.
Coach,
And it's special for those seniors. It meant a lot to them. They won a lot of games here. They haven't won a lot of bowl games. So they put a lot into it. They bought into it. They gave us strong leadership when it was needed, and now they can enjoy it.
Barry, what was the move that you when Gary left? And did that factor in why you wanted to coach these guys, especially the veteran guys?
First of all, let me make something clear. I didn't want to coach these guys. I first initially said I feel uncomfortable doing that again when they asked me. And they asked me to sleep on it that they would come back. I thought maybe they'd forget about it. But they did show up the next morning, and I had 2 hours before I was flying down here for the press conference. They came in and visited with me again, and I started thinking, and I thought about it actually that night. They came back and asked me again, why are we all there? Why are we at the university? It's still about the kids, or we wouldn't have jobs. So the least I could do, if I could bring them some stability, and that's what they felt like they needed, then I should do that. So that's why I went back. I forget the rest of your question.
Oh, no, I think that answered it. But
Okay.
did you might kind of put a bow on that period of instability?
Oh, you know what? The older guys, naturally, obviously, you're very disappointed when your coach walks in and says, there's no easy way to say this, I'm leaving. You know, and the young guys are shocked. The old guys, it's like, you know, they like Gary. And then I visited with him afterwards and told the first 3 rows who have been through this before, I'm going to give you the same message I gave you before. You know, don't be afraid of change. This is a life lesson. You can grow from it. I promise you I'll have a good coach in place, and I'll be the stabling force here. And the older guys bought into that from right away. And you can go back. They were very good in practices. They followed our plan. I changed up a lot of things that had been done as far as weight workouts, conditioning, how physical we were at practice, how we practiced, even going to a movie last night instead of whatever they normally did. And everything that I changed, they bought into it, and they felt like that helped them. You know, that could help them win. I asked them to buy in, followed my plan. We've won a few games, and bowl games. So follow, and they did.
Barry, you mentioned the offensive line. I assume you're talking about Ray Ball.
No, I'm talking about Costigan. Costigan could barely get out of the huddle.
And how is Bowles, what's the situation?
Bolts broke, has a fracture on his, not on his ankle, but one of those, the smaller one. That was really good.
Given that, then are you surprised what the line was able to do with Costigan banging up the ball in there and Bolts out?
Yeah, you know, those guys, Ray's a good run blocker, and he's physical, he's a tough guy. You know, I thought we could have some trouble with combinations. It was almost impossible. You know, Costigan was coming in and out of the huddle, taking the huddle on, he was hopping on one leg, and he wouldn't come out of the game. You know, so that's how legends are made, you know. But they hung in there, they did what they had to do, but that's why I didn't want to go to overtime.
Barry, did you make even a greater commitment to running the ball in the second half? Did you make that decision at halftime?
No, that was Andy Ludwig's plan from the very beginning, that we wanted to open the game, throwing the ball, opening it up, make them run around, maybe try to tire their front up, loosen them up a little bit, because we knew they'd hug the line of scrimmage. And then we told them, the offensive line, they have to take the game over second half.
How does this win impact your program, do you think, going forward with ball? Is there
Yeah,
carry over?
these are all, absolutely, there are a lot of young players in that room. You know, winning is good. And especially now, they beat a very good team. It's 11 wins, guys and gals. 11 wins is hard. There aren't many teams out there that'll have 11 wins at the end of the year, and we're going to be one of them. And these guys know how to win. The young guys see what it takes to win, and that'll carry over.
Coach, you talk about the resiliency of this team. You talked about the coaching change, but you also lose to Ohio State the way they did.
Yeah. Well, you have to address that. You just can't stick your head in the sand and say, let's pretend like it didn't happen. You have to address it, and I addressed it in my first meeting with them, and I went back and said, you know, I've been through games like that. They're not fun. You know what? You can't learn anything from them. But I went back 3 games prior to that when we were down to a 3-game playoff to win our division. And all 3 games were rivalry games for us and very physical games. Now, if you're Auburn today and you played us 3 weeks in a row, or a team like us 3 weeks in a row, and you have to go out next Saturday and play, you don't have a lot left in your tank. I'll guarantee you those guys are sore and beat up. It's hard to come back from that. We had 3 weeks of it. Our center and his backup were both out. And then things snowballed. So I explained that to him. Get it out of your system. Realize you're playing for 11 games. You've won 10. You beat good teams. You beat ranked teams down the stretch. All 3 of them were ranked. And that's the team I want to show up. And they bought into it.
You said you weren't be afraid to assert yourself in the play calling. Did you have to do that at any point today?
A couple times. Every 4th down call.
Coach, we just witnessed Alvarez part 3. Is our part 4 coming
That's
up?
it. No mas. No mas. And you got people down here in Tampa understand that. No mas.
Barry, how did it feel just to be back on the sidelines? You've been away from the sidelines a while. What was that like?
Felt good. It felt good. And I love, you know, especially a game like that where it's a game where both teams are moving the ball and who can make plays. I thought we left some points on the field. But that's a good team. Gus, he's very creative on offense. I thought our guys did a good job, and especially down in crunch time. I didn't like that 4th down conversion they made on us to take the lead, but all in all, I tell you what, it felt very good, and that whatever bath I got was really special.
What, you like what you got out of McAvoy on defense?
Yeah, you know what? He made a lot of plays. He saved some tackles. He saved some touchdowns. A year ago, I didn't think he was a very good tackler, but he tackled well in this game, and we got some plays out of him. And you know what? I told Paul already, Tanner's a big, fast, good athlete. We got to get some mileage out of him someplace, whether you use him, sparingly at quarterback, or you use him as a wide receiver. You use him as a safety. Someplace you got to use him. He's too good not to be on the field.
Bill, you said the last time you played Auburn, that was a very satisfying win, just how well your team played.
We played better in that game than we played today. We didn't turn the ball over in that game. We turned it over today. As I said, we left some points on the field. We played well enough to win. We made enough big plays to win. We didn't play, we had a lot of guys that played great. Melvin played great. Our offensive line kid played great. I can go right down the line, but a lot of turnovers. We played well enough to beat a very good team.
Do you think this makes a statement for Wisconsin football? A lot of people think your style of play can't beat, more athletic, quicker SEC, Pac-12, Big 12 top teams. Does this make a statement for your kind of football?
I don't know what kind of football I play. I play football.
Run the ball.
Run the ball, throw it when we feel like it, set up and run, play good defense, good fun. We're not going to live on throwing the ball. When you don't throw it well, you really don't live on it. There's a lot of ways to win football games. You just have to execute, and you have to be sound in how you do it. And Jim Harbaugh made a living at Stanford, and then when he jumped to the league, Nick Saban did the same thing. He did what he's doing at Alabama is what we do. So there are a lot of ways to win. There's not one secret formula, but you better be. I think in football you have to be tough. That's how I was brought up, and that's how I like to play. That's how I like my teams to play. And I think sometimes if you get away from that too far and you play a team that's going to go out there and knock you around, you got a problem. And if you aren't fast enough, and the team, to cover teams that are going to spread it out and throw over, you got problems. So you got to find that happy medium. Obviously, we have enough guys that can run around and cover you and play in space that we can defend well enough to win. We see, you'd be surprised. We do see a lot of teams like this in our league. So, but his offense is a little bit different than others.
Barry, given how the defense played in the Ohio State game, were you comfortable with this game plan Orlando had put together with his staff coming in? How do you think they executed it overall?
I think they executed well. We missed some tackles, but I think Dave really he zeroed in on formations, and they give you so many formations, and you have to communicate so much. If you're not on top of it, one guy makes a mistake. It's assignment football. It's wing T football. It's option football, but it's assignment football, and a lot of it's in space. And you got a quarterback. You have to defend 11 people because that quarterback can hurt you. And I thought Dave did a very nice job. I think our kids executed. I always like to play better, but since this is my last game, I think it's one of the greatest defensive efforts ever performed by the Wisconsin team.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay, thank you guys.